La video.
Mimi ninasema from Dagoretti, we have seen the success of this program in terms of retention of children in school and in terms of performance of children in school. Because of those two reasons, there is absolutely evidence that it is the right thing to do so that our children can not only spend their time in school, but also their performance can improve. Kwa hivyo, mimi nataka nitangaze ya kwamba kama serikali yetu ya Kenya Kwanza, tumeweka katika manifesto yetu, all our governors, all our members of parliament, there will be appropriate legislation to make sure that all our children can get food in school. Vile tunawapatia vitabu shuleni, vile tunasema lazima kuwe na vitabu shuleni, vile lazima tuwe na mpango ya lunch shuleni. Si ndio? Tunaelewana? And what we have seen here, and I want to thank Wawira for being a partner with the parents of this school so that we can keep our children in school and our children can have access to food while they are learning in school.
I'm not the kind of person to run away from making difficult choices, especially when I believe and I'm persuaded that they are the right choices. Maybe I can give you two examples that maybe even relate to the men and women here. When the government of Kenya decided that it was time to change the constitution, and I thought I had issues with some of the matters in that constitution, it didn't matter to me that the whole government was standing on one side. I stood on the side that I believed in. That's at the heart of making difficult decisions. Recently, we had another engagement called the BBI. Because you live in Kenya, Edmund, you must have seen at the Bomas of Kenya, I was the only person, one person, in about a congregation of 3,000 people who had a different opinion. And it didn't matter how many people were shouting at me, I still told them what I thought was the right position. And finally, I don't want to say I was right, but the circumstances have vindicated what I said. So I'm just saying, you are asking me whether I have the capacity to make difficult decisions. I was just responding to that.
You see, one could easily say that you're playing the safe card. I stand corrected, but from where I sit, if I remember correctly, yours was not about changing, but the timing of some of the issues or concerns therein. And if you recall, yours was, if that is the will of the people, then I would take it. So, would that be saying, would that be that someone argue that you're playing safe, waiting to see where the trend would go, then you actually say and follow it?
If I was following the trend, I wouldn't be standing up to a whole mass of people, you know. But I am also a Democrat, you know. And in a democracy, you speak your truth, but when the majority have made a decision, as a Democrat from where I sit, just like in an election, you go to an election, of course with the intention of winning, but sometimes you don't win. So when you go to an election and the majority decide not in your favor, you must respect the outcome of an election. And I think that goes to the heart of some of the challenges we have as a nation, that we have situations where people do not accept the outcome of a democratic process. It doesn't mean you must agree with everybody, but it means you speak your truth. When a decision is made, you have to agree with what the majority have decided. We already have a reasonably big budget on matters to do with security. What we must do, however, is we must make sure that we get value for the resources we deploy in security. What will I do differently? I will make sure that buying guns is not a security issue. Why is buying a gun by the government? Why is it in mystery? Why is it in some dark room? Why? The guns are being carried all over in the streets by policemen. So what is the big deal? Today, they are classified as security purchases. So a gun that is supposed to be sold for 20,000 is bought at 60,000. Why? Oh, it's a security thing, so it cannot be done by open tender. It must be done in some dark room. It must be. I have been against those stories, because these security, secret things, that is where corruption thrives. We must get, if we got value for the money we are putting in our security sector, we would get maybe twice or thrice the output we are currently getting. We are giving you opportunity to train teachers from the pastoral communities. I have paid for 100 teachers in Tana River, for example, to go to training myself at a personal level. And what we need to do, the big problem, for example, in northern Kenya, is that many teachers in northern Kenya come from Nairobi, Nakuru, Siaya, and all manner of places. Very few teachers, very few people in northern Kenya go for training as teachers. And the question I ask them, why do you make the teaching of your children the business of other people? Because when one gunshot is fired, the gentleman from Siaya will go to Siaya. But if that person came from that village in Wargadut or someplace in Wajir, whether 10 or 20 or 50 gunshots are fired, they will stay at home. And when the gunshots are over, they will go back and teach the children. It is as simple as that. So we need to persuade more of the people from pastoral communities to get their children to go to train as teachers, number one. And then number two, we as government, we have to increase our teacher-student ratio in those areas by hiring more teachers. Their inclusivity at an appointive level, I think that's much more easy. And in my administration, by God's grace, I will make sure that I will meet the requirements of the Constitution when it comes to matters inclusivity in cabinet appointments, in all the other appointments, ambassadorial appointments, and all the other appointments. I don't find any challenge there. But the greater, in my opinion, the greater inclusivity is actually going to be provided for by the economic inclusivity. That's really where my focus will be. Inclusivity that is brought about by making sure that we fashion our economy so that it creates opportunities for the majority of our citizens. I believe very strongly that it is possible for us to fashion programs, policies, and projects that would create opportunities for jobs for our young people. Majority of our young people, we have 4 million Kenyans today who are out of school. They have certificates, they have diplomas, they have degrees, but they don't have a job. That is something that is at the heart of what I want to do for this country. We must get the IG. What I will do is to get the IG his own budget. The Constitution says the IG is an independent office. Today, the IG doesn't have a budget. He relies on the office of the president for a budget. You know? And so he has to speak nicely to some people at the office of the president. Why? The IG is an independent office. When I ask somebody, why are we bringing matters to do with the Inspector General of Police? Why doesn't he have his own accounting officer when the Constitution says they should have its own accounting officer? Somebody was telling me, oh, you know, you can't give somebody guns and give them money. If they have guns, you must keep the money so that you keep, you know, giving them enough for them not to cause trouble. You know, first day I will appoint an accounting officer for the Inspector General of Police and the police department and give them an independent budget and demand from them. Because if you are giving somebody his budget, you are unable to demand from them. Because they will say, but you know, boss, you know, we didn't get this money, you know, we asked for this, we didn't get, we asked for this, we didn't get. So, make the Inspector General of Police truly independent, and then I will demand from them why this is not happening here, why this is not happening here, why this is not happening here.
Your bottom-up approach. Now, to the evangelical, to the Christian faith, the Christians, to the residents of this country, unpack very simply, what is this bottom-up economic approach or model that you have?
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm happy we are discussing the economy, because that, in my opinion, is where the answer to many of the issues that are with us now. Bottom up is about inclusivity. It's about making sure that there is opportunity for everybody, that nobody is left behind. You have told me to contextualize it to the Christian fraternity. Let me go to the Bible. Psalms 113, verses 7 and 8 speaks to bottom up. It says, if you allow me in Kiswahili, because because I have had occasion to speak to Kenyans many times. It says, Mungu umuinua mnyonge kutoka mavumbini, na Mungu humfanya fukara na maskini mpaka wakaketi meza moja na wafalme. Yeah? So bottom up, that's the explanation. We want to fashion a country where we get the majority of our citizens, number one, who are jobless. The people at the bottom of the pyramid are the millions of young people walking our streets, walking our villages, walking our markets with certificates and without jobs. That's why I insist that we must have a deliberate. I know many people here are learned. Dr. Okinde is here, Dr. Mukanda is here, and many more doctors. And we have been told they are real doctors, which means they have gone to school. We must have, it's no longer fashionable for us to say we will grow the economy and the economy will create jobs. No. It's possible to grow the economy without creating jobs. We must, for a first time, insist on growing the economy and making sure that that economy actually grows jobs. Yeah?
Mama wenzangu, so far tumefikisha 350k kwa akaunti yetu ya chama. Fanya aje na hizi pesa zetu?
Naona tununue vitenge zinafanana.
Vitenge.
Hapana, tununue sufuria za non-stick.
Sufuria.
Tununueni kate.
Kate. Ai, mama wenzangu, vote tununue kaploti.
Kuna watu wanauza plots na nyuki.
Na nyuki?
Hebu tuwapigie simu watupe uhondo.
Hello.
Thank you for calling Optiven. How may we assist you?
Can we get a plot with 350,000 in Nanyuki?
Yes, you can get a plot at the Great Oasis Gardens in Nanyuki today for as low as 349,000 shillings.
We're inspiring possibilities.